From the galaxies up above and the valleys down below, you are now entering a new zone, the Egg Boy Zone, in 3, 2, 1.
Did we start recording?
I just did.
Oh, okay. So, hello everybody. Welcome to Yoking Around, episode number 10. We are super excited that we finally made it to episode number 10. What the fuck, dude? Like, literally, we're on episode number 10. That's fucking crazy.
Went from the one digit to the second digit.
I
now.
know, we're
Love
on
it.
the second digit. I'm super excited about that, guys. I don't know. They say, I was watching this YouTube sort of business and podcast connoisseur, and they literally said if you make it past the 7th episode, and this is not even like if you don't get any views, it doesn't matter if you get views or not. If you make it past the 7th episode, that means that you're in the right track. And I took those words to heart, and now we're on episode number 10.
Right on,
So
baby.
that's fucking amazing, I think.
I'm excited.
I don't know. I just I have big dreams and big hopes for this episode. So it's 10, one of the perfect numbers, the God-given numbers. It's good numbers. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's podcast. We have some interesting stuff for you guys. Stuff that it's gonna be everywhere, but at the same time it'll probably teach you a lesson. Probably not, actually. I really don't know. It depends what you take from this. But Chandler, obviously,
What's up?
you're here with us. What
I
the
am.
fuck is going on in your life, bro? How was your week?
My week has been pretty good. Been keeping busy with work and also trying to, outpace those people that made the New Year's resolutions of going to the gym. Gym is hella busy.
I know it's
I'm
the
like-
first fucking month.
I know. I'm like, dang.
Maybe even February. I want to give him February. February is like the month of either breakups, and then everybody also breaks their New Year's resolution. I feel like so it's a
It
whole
can be.
bunch of
It can
breakups.
be.
But that's good. Are you starting? I before you answer, actually, I went to the gym this weekend. Holy fuck, I hit legs so hard. It looked like literally I was shitting myself all week. I could not fucking walk like a regular person.
Right when you walk out, trembling, basically.
Yeah, basically like fucking booty shaking without fucking wanting to. Literally ass shaking
Squats for
everywhere.
days.
And then you take a shit and you can't get up. Literally, you fucking can't get up. You're stuck in the fucking toilet. But what else? Was there anything exciting over your week, or was it just one of those weeks that it was kind of just mellow? Went to the gym, did my shit.
Yeah, I would say it was mostly mellow. I've been working on, for some of you that know me better, I'm really into languages, so I've been working on Italian a lot this week.
Oh,
And-
Mr. Love Language, Mr.
Sì,
Pasta,
Italiano.
Linguistic.
linguini,
But yeah.
mozzarella.
So I have a brief story. So there's this one app that I've been using over, on and off. It's called Tandem, and it's
Oh
know,
yeah, you
the
told
wh-
me about
right.
that.
The whole idea, if you think of a tandem bike, kind of two people are putting in work, right? You both have to be pedaling. So it's the same concept that
Oh,
it's an app where you put your native language, so in my case English, and what you're trying to learn. So I'm trying to learn Italian, and then it matches you with people that are basically the opposite. So someone that's trying to learn English and speaks Italian, and it's really interesting because you kind of get this like Tinder vibe at first, and I'm like, this is not what I'm.
It's
looking
like this app is just to hook up with fucking rando
Right.
European or Chinese
Hey, but in this
strangers.
case, this app is free, so I mean, you're getting off the hook.
Yeah, so it is kind of weird because you have a picture and a little profile, whatever. It says like your learning goals and what your level is.
Right.
You can put beginner, medium, or intermediate, advanced. So most of the people there are pretty normal and they're trying to learn, but there's also some random comments that always
It's
like
I'm
come in-
here for pussy. I'm here for pussy. Come on,
right. So there was this.
show me tits. I want tits.
So there was this one that I had this girl. I don't even know her name. She like sent it to me.
What
and-
did she send you?
and
Hold
she
on.
said- No, she's-
it.
She
What
said
did she send you?
her opening message was like, "You have a very charming neck," and I was like,
What the fuck?
and I was like, how do I determine? Like, how do I
A
even,
charming neck? Is it because of your Adam's apple? Maybe.
maybe? And
It's like,
I-
oh fuck! Look at that Adam's apple. It just pops at you.
America
Right.
looks so good.
American with the big Adam's apple. I like.
I know. I think I told her, well, thank you. Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, I don't even know how to react to that. I can't
was-
give you any advice.
I was really confused. And then her next comment after that, you have a very charming neck. And she's like, I'd be willing to bet my pizza on that. And I was like,
oh,
It's
That
like-
sounds-
what does this mean?
that takes you for a curveball. That is literally a curveball thrown at you.
See, this is where you kind of, like, hey, well, they're trying to learn how to learn, like, trying to learn how to learn.
I'm trying to learn
What?
how to learn.
They're trying to learn how to speak another language, and correct, like,
It's all Google.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
like
much it's
Google
Google
search. It's like
Google Translate.
Google Translate. That's exactly what it is. It's like, oh, I want to tell him like, I think you look so sweet over your profile picture.
Right.
And
And
it's
Google Translate. Your neck is fucking amazing.
yeah, that's what comes out. It could be that, or I don't know, or she could just honestly be really into your neck.
I guess a girl that never met me, but it's always interesting. I guess it broke the ice in a way, and I was like, okay, it's not the normal "Ciao, come stai?" Like, "Hi, how are you?" That you get like a million times. Where are you from? What's your name? It's very repetitive conversation. So I liked that it was something different. It was unique.
I remember I used to be on the whole dating website ordeal, but even though this is not a website to date, obviously, this is a website to learn languages. And I think you remember when we used to go back and forth on the trips. It was
For soccer, right?
yeah.
The club.
So I had this app. I can't really remember the name off the top of my head right now, but I had this phrase that I used to like
I know you
tell a girl that I fucking liked, and I don't know how it
worked.
fucking
It
worked. And Chandler can vouch for me on
I can
that.
attest. Yep.
Yeah, it was literally like, "Hey, how you doing? Care to chat? I won't bite."
And then like winky face.
Yeah, like a winky face.
But like the old fashioned, right? Not the emoji winky face.
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
the-
Oh yeah,
the
the
semicolon
emoticon. Yeah,
with
the
the
emoticon all the way.
parentheses.
It was a fucking emoticon, and it would literally hit.
It was fire.
I got a girlfriend off of that, actually. You remember?
The one girl, yeah.
I actually got a girlfriend off of that. It only lasted 3 months, but
But
I-
hey,
I got a girlfriend off of that. I remember that. Have you tried dating websites at all?
not too much actually. Just for my personal preference, it's not my preferred method to meet someone online. I guess I prefer the more organic method of meeting in person or meeting through mutual friends. But I have, very minimal experience. I think I went on a date with one girl off a dating site, and it was, it was very interesting because you talk to someone online, right, and you
Right.
get their kind of perspective of who they are like.
Or do you? That's the thing.
Yeah,
or
well,
do you?
right. It depends what they want to show.
Because a lot of people, show a perspective through texting, right? They feel just comfortable with it. They feel like this is me, this is who I am. Let me express myself. But then you meet them in person, and it's a fucking
way
whole
different. Way different.
new ordeal. Even physically, some people don't look like their fucking
Sometimes,
picture.
yeah.
Some people don't look like their picture. It's something completely different, and that just takes you off by a loop. Honestly, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, it can be an ordeal, honestly.
How did your date go? Did it go good, or
It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great, but
that just means that it fucking sucked?
but what was nice was we mutually agreed that we didn't have too much in common, too much interest. and-
that's nice, because you'd be like, yeah, you know what? I just don't
Yeah.
see it, I still fuck you, but I just don't see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I approached her and I was like, oh, how do I tell her? Like, I'm not really interested. And then I, just said, it's better to be direct. So I told her, and then she
Good.
was like, oh, me too. Like, she wasn't even surprised. So I was like, oh, thank God. Like,
That is interesting. Actually, off of that app, I've gotten 2 girlfriends now that I think about it.
interesting.
Yeah. One in Denver and one here in Grand Junction. Actually, where I live. Which it's not anything to be proud about,
But,
honestly.
it is more common nowadays, right? I hear statistics. I don't know how reliable they are, but they say, like over half of all relationships have started online with, the younger generation and even the
Yeah.
older generation, right? People that have maybe broken up with marriages or just separated and kind of looking to get back out there.
I feel like
Quote.
at this point, you don't even know what the fuck people are looking for. People are so confused sometimes. You know what I mean? And they've been so broken and they've been through some shit that it's just like, I want a friends with benefits, but I don't want the attachment, but I don't want this and I don't want that. And it's just a fucking convoluted idea of what they really want. And it's very, very interesting. I mean, I think I tried Tinder for a week.
Okay.
And then I saw that I mean you run out of swipes. And I'm like, I'm not fucking paying for this shit. Are you kidding me? I'm not paying for some swipes. Actually I did end up paying for some swipes now that I remember.
I caved.
I did, yeah, I caved
We get
in.
impatient.
I
right?
did. That tells you what kind of a mindset you're in. If you're fucking paying for swipes on a fucking dating app, that tells you that you're just not in the right mindset. So they snubbed 30 days was a trial, $10 or something like that when it was not that expensive nowadays. Now I don't even know what's going on, but I know that I never had luck with Tinder. Like I hear these Tinder stories and it's just kind of crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I was not lucky at all when it came to that.
Right. I mean, I've heard both sides. I've heard people that have met and dated off of Tinder, and then I've heard this guy was crazy, turned into a stalker. So
That's the scary part about like dating
And-
someone online, bro. Like that.
it
Have
is.
you seen
And
that?
We're gonna get into that more in
Yeah.
the show.
Have you seen that episode? You or not you? That
show.
show you. Amazing fucking show. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. Amazing show, and I'm gonna tell you guys why it's amazing. I don't think it's amazing for the fact that it's romanticizing being a stalker and a psychopath per se. I think it's amazing because it's very, very well written. The monologues that this guy, this creepy stalker, that it's actually very charming looking. The monologues that he has with himself are very, very well written. I'm on the second episode of season 2. I don't know if I'm digging the whole how it's written yet. But first season is amazing. Like, I mean, first season was off the fucking walls. I thought, in my personal opinion, I think it was very well written, and that's why I give credit to that, because I think that it was fucking great. I still haven't finished season 2, so I can't vouch so much for that. But
I could say it only gets better.
really, so have you seen it all? Holy shit! That if Deegan
haven't
thinks
seen
it's
it.
good, it's good. If Deegan thinks it's good, it's good. Oh, there was also another episode of not episode, but season that came out. We were talking about it earlier. Sex Ed,
I know.
fucking phenomenal.
It's
Netflix
out.
Phenomenal
original.
show. Phenomenal show.
As of today, the 17th.
You know what? I love the fact that Netflix is doing it. I love the fact that they're doing shows for people that teenagers, teenagers that are, because sometimes when they do a show for teenagers, they don't want to be too like, they don't want to be too mature about it. Like, oh, that's too sexual. Oh, that's too much of that.
No.
But the reality of it is like teenage, they want the real shit. You know, like we're not looking for anything but the truth, right? And I feel like Sex Ed is literally a show that
It just cuts the filters out of it, you know?
Exactly,
It gives you the nitty gritty
exactly.
of what you actually looking for.
exactly.
But do you guys think it's a British show, right?
It
At
is
least there's-
British, yeah.
There's British actors. I wonder if that has anything to do with the whole no filter. Because at least in American society,
There's a
I
little
think
more
there's a really
restrictions.
hands-off view on
Right,
sex
right.
education.
It's definitely. I don't think it's definitely something. I think it's something you might be able to see on FX, at midnight. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, in Europe they
A little
are definitely
open.
more
A little
open.
uncensored, yeah.
Yeah, a little more uncensored. There's ketchup commercials and shit like that are sexual as fuck. Skittle commercials that are sexual as fuck, and yeah, I feel like they're a little more open. But who doesn't watch Netflix nowadays? You know, like who? Everybody's fucking watching Netflix. It doesn't matter your age. I know I have a couple cousins, and they're around. They're 17, 16. I know those fuckers are watching Netflix at night. You know what I mean? They're behind the door closed, they put their headphones in and they're watching all this shit. And I think it's a good show to open that
To open that discussion, right?
yeah, open that discussion. Be honest with me. When you were in high school,
Yes.
did you ever had sex ed?
I did have a health class in both
No,
intermediate
no.
school.
See, health class is one thing. Health class goes over the whole spectrum. But
Yes.
when was the actual time when you actually had a sex ed class?
It was 9th grade.
9 fucking grade. You still don't know how to fucking jack off at that age. You know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of it was right, kind of people making fun of it or
Exactly.
over our head. At least for me, I can't speak for everyone. Unfortunately, right? Because I think it was very valuable information, but it kind of just got played off as STD.
Oh, gonorrhea. That's a funny word.
She's got crabs. Like, no, that's serious.
Crabs.
Like,
Yeah. I just didn't. I remember back in my 9th grade, actually. Now that you remember,
Yeah.
that you bring that up, they had this whole day where they show you how to put a condom on a fucking wooden dick,
oh yeah.
a wooden penis, and
You know what? When we had those classes, the teachers really got a little mad when you said that I was a dildo. You know, you can't call it a dildo.
it's not a dildo, okay? It's a fake penis.
Like, they really got ticked off when you said shit like
Did
that.
you have some crazy stories about that, or what?
No, I kid, but
It's like, how do you know what a dildo is? It's like,
teacher.
I'm fucking sick. I'm fucking 15, 16. Like, it's normal, you know? But I remember we had a day where they basically tried to do the sex ed class in one fucking sitting. So they would take us to these, what is it, like a pavilion or something like that? And they would have a sex workshop. And then you were, it was very weirdly set up because they basically had you go to this,
like a station type of.
like a station type of thing. And sometimes you got the cool classes and sometimes you get the lame classes. You know what I mean? And I think I got the lame class because everybody was talking about like putting a condom on a fucking banana or something like that and getting shown these crazy pictures. And I honestly got the very lame ones. But I know for a fact that my health class was touched briefly. It's like something we don't talk about. It's like something teenagers don't talk about. And I feel like it needs to be talked about now more than ever because teens are exposed to that kind of shit sooner now. You know what I mean? With technology and all that. I'm scared of what my little brother is watching on his tablet. You know what I mean? Like, he might be 10, 11, but fuck, man. These kids are crazy. They be watching some crazy shit on them.
But you know what you really should be scared of is what they're actually picking up. It could be false advertisement. It could be real stuff. You never know what the heck they're picking up. For the
Exactly,
best
right?
or the
Yeah.
worst, you don't know. I mean, what can you do about that? If media's out there, they can't really.
I know they can click on something and fucking do what I did, you know, virus the fucking computer out. You know, that computer had every fucking virus in the nation, honestly, when it was
say goodbye.
I remember, like when internet was just like the dial-up internet, and we actually had to, you had to connect it. If you wanted to do dirty stuff, you actually had to fucking be in a place where there was a connection, right? And obviously, the living room, it's no place to be watching dirty shit.
Yeah, it didn't have
porn
Wi-Fi
or-
either, so I mean, you had to be tethered.
Exactly, you had to be connected.
Google Incognito, man.
Honestly, how far have we come with computers, man? I know that it's been crazy, and that actually brings us to the first topic, which is Channel wants to introduce the dark web a little bit.
Oh yeah. So I imagine many of you have heard about the dark web or the deep dark web,
Yes.
and yes, we know Pee Wee has.
Oh yeah, I've been this close to fucking downloading the fucking the program that you need.
The Onion app or
the
what?
Onion app, the Tor,
Yep, the Tor.
the Tor. To fucking just
That's how you supposedly access it, right? You get all these different links that can take you to various things. You know,
yes,
how to buy drugs. You know, once you go into the deeper web, you start seeing torture, and supposedly you can have access to people's medical information.
yeah, it gets
Government documents. You know, the question of aliens really comes into play. Mercenaries. There's a lot.
yeah. The basically what Tor does is just a base computer program that creates different aliases for you. So whenever you go into the obviously the dark shit, the deeper web, it basically, if somebody is trying to track you, it deviates them from finding your specific alias, the one that is on your computer. I
So
believe.
what exactly it does, it pretty much within the intervals of 30 seconds to a minute, it changes your IP address constantly, changing your location.
That's correct. So one day it'll just
So they can't
bounce
trace you,
everywhere.
yeah.
Basically, it'll connect to some part of Europe. You'll be on China, and then it'll bounce everywhere.
It's unpredictable.
It's very unpredictable, very random, and it's made for you not to get caught, obviously, and that's exactly what the Tor does, the Onion router or whatever. I think
For sure.
I remember Tor stands for something, but I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
I can't remember.
It
what
actually
means.
was touched upon on that show, How to Sell Drugs Online, on Netflix. Like the guy that sells ecstasy online.
Oh,
on the
right,
dark
right,
web.
right.
How to sell drugs
And
fast.
they briefly talk about that. Yeah, Deegan knows.
It's
It-
a good show. No,
Yeah.
it's a good show.
it was based on a real story, from what I was kind of told by people I talked to about it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that actually. I didn't know it was based on
I think in Germany. I think the original language is German, and the guy basically goes on the dark web and expands his business of selling ecstasy, and
It's like the quick way to sell dope, right?
right. And I guess the currency there is Bitcoin mostly, right? They don't deal in cash or PayPal or anything.
Yeah, they basically what they did, they sort of rebel against it. It's kind of like a rebellious side of society
Right.
that decides to tap into this, and these are computer literate people, obviously people that know exactly how to fucking work a computer, and they created a system to rebel against the norm, which is obviously cash money, by creating Bitcoin. And that's exactly
Correct.
what cryptocurrency was created, because they were like basically like, fuck this shit, I don't want anything to do with the government, I want Bitcoin to be a thing, because it's the way we know what value it has, basically. It was yeah, that's essentially why it was created, honestly.
It was. Actually, I want to share a story real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we were watching. I was talking to a friend about the dark web and kind of what he knew, and he recommended a few YouTube videos. So just things I listened to yesterday. There was a crazy story about this guy. He sounded like he was in high school and goes on the deep web, and I guess he was trying to message this girl he was interested in. through MySpace, and
Good old
and
MySpace.
she was like, "Oh, send me some nudes, some pictures." So he sent some, and she sent some. But after that, the things got a little bit weird, because he got a message on his browser, basically saying, "We see you," like he was being watched.
Oh, fuck.
So he got a little freaked out and was like, whatever, I'll just block this girl. But then he received a threat that it was a guy who was pretending to be a girl, and he said, "Every day at 9 p.m., I want to chat with you
What the fuck? Like
Right.
demanding it
through
basically.
AIM." Yeah, he said, "If you don't, I'm gonna send the nude pictures to everyone in your school." So the kid was kind of freaking out, and he took a while to even bring it up to his parents.
Which at this point, what kind of nude pictures are you really sending?
Right.
He's probably like, because if it's a dick pic, that could be anybody's dick pic, you know?
It must have been identifying. I don't,
Yeah, I mean, either showing face or literally like butthole showing.
It's
or-
that one birthmark that everybody knows.
Exactly, that deep
Right.
dark.
that deep dark birthmark.
Yeah, exactly.
So he kind of starts to freak out, and he eventually tells his parents, and they immediately are like, "We need to report this to the police." So they file a report, and he shows them some of the messages he's received, some of the threats, and he kind of decides just to ignore this guy. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn the cold shoulder.
You're right.
Not gonna care. And he kind of describes for 4 months he kind of didn't hear anything from the stalker dude until he's at this football game for his high school once, and I guess he's sitting in the bleachers, and this random person comes up and says, "Hey, there's someone that wants to talk to you in the bathroom."
What the fuck?
Right, and the guy on the bleacher, he describes it as, he had chills up his spine, and he instantly knew that.
Wait. So the guy that it's getting the message, right? Got the chills on his spine. Okay.
Yep, he was on the bleacher, and some random person came up to him saying, "There's a guy that wants to speak to you in the bathroom," and he had this kind of gut feeling that it's probably that stalker dude.
Fuck.
So he's like, "You can tell him I'm not coming down there." And then
Good.
I
feel like
guess
that's good.
yeah, I guess a few other people came up and kind of told him the same thing, and some other people overheard the conversation and tried to go to the bathroom to see who was there. I guess the guy left, but they were able to get what vehicle he was driving. And a few weeks later, they contacted the boy that was being stalked, and they say, "We have the guy who was stalking you." And on his computer was all this evidence of other people he had, gave the same threats to. I guess he had some history of sexual assault on minors.
Oh, what?
And
So it was an older guy then. It
Ye-
wasn't a guy that
yep,
was
it was
relatable
definitely
to
an
his
older
age.
guy, not a girl on MySpace. And they had evidence of him talking to the boy, so he eventually got put away for many years. But it was very creepy
Fuck,
to
dude.
think about.
That is fucking creepy. I mean, you're over here trying to be a Don Juan, right? Trying to
Right.
get this girl to talk to
just
you.
trying to catfish right there.
Exactly, trying to get these girls to talk to girls basically on MySpace, and all of a sudden you get this fucking creep that is like, "Hey, I want to talk to you every fucking day at 9 o'clock at night."
He turns,
Yep,
he
9 p.m.
turns the table over on you, and now he's in control. That's when you should
Exactly. That's exactly. That's
power struggle, yeah.
a power struggle. He turns it, and now he's got you. And not only that, he's got pictures of your penis and your fucking whatever you're sending. You freak.
Your dignity's right there.
Exactly.
As you know, it's gone.
Fuck, dude. That's intense.
I know.
That's a good one. That's a good story. I don't know, man. If I was, what would you do in that situation? I think you did good on not going to that fucking bleach, or where was it? The bathroom?
Definitely. But I would have reported it way earlier, and I guess there comes a point to, how damaging can this picture be, right?
I'm telling you,
just gotta,
if it's a dick picture,
send it.
I guess if it's around the era of MySpace, it was still kind of early, so dick pics might have been a bigger of a deal back in the day, because a dick pic nowadays, I feel like it's
It's not as unique as it used to be.
yeah, exactly. Exactly, right?
Sadly.
There's people sending fucking dick pics like nobody's
They
business.
just pretty much get off on Google and just post it on to whoever they want to send it to.
E-
Honestly,
exactly.
You can't really say it's his or
They'll
not.
post a picture of this black cock, and it's like, bro, you're fucking white. Like, there's no way you have that.
Your name says it. Like,
Right.
You're Wyatt, not LeBron. You know, like.
And that comes back to the sex education. You know, why are kids thinking it's okay to ask another girl, another guy for pictures of themselves?
Right. Honestly, bro, like I've heard some crazy stories, and this isn't like very far apart. Like literally, I don't know who fucking told me this, but it was literally this lady told me that this kid was asking her daughter for nudes.
Okay.
They're not even in high school, bro. They're literally in fucking middle school. When I was in middle school, I wasn't thinking about that shit, bro. Like, even in high school, I don't think it ever crossed my mind to ask for somebody's nude. You know what I
Definitely
mean?
Not for me either.
Nobody. Like, literally, it didn't fucking cross my mind. And now it's happening literally at middle school. But like you said, I think it's because of that lack of sexual education. You know, I think sex is just promoted so much nowadays. It's like everywhere.
it's just commercialized to the max.
It's commercialized. It's just like the newest. It's like whenever you fucking see the new shoes, you know, the new Nike shoes. It's like, fuck, get the new Nike shoes, the Air Maxes or whatever. Sex is like that, you know. It's like, oh, you know, like if you ain't fucking wearing this thing that shows your boobs or your butt or whatever, like you ain't hot. Like that. That's just and these teenage girls see this shit and then they're like, no, I need to have that. Like I need to have that. For what? For what? Why do you? I need to feel sexy. You're 12 years old. Why the fuck do you need to feel that way? You know what I mean? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
And when you get to the point where, you know, you feel like you want to have sexual intercourse with someone, I mean, you have to know the ways you can, for one, prevent pregnancy if that's not what you're looking for, but also prevent
Exactly.
yourself and another person from getting a disease. Even though you're like, oh, you know, I've never had sex, I don't have anything. It's just you have to take precaution, right? You can't just go in unprotected every time and expect no consequence. But if that's a discussion you've never had, you know, it's hard for me to say, you know, what are you doing? This is your fault. It needs to be had.
Do you remember when you had to literally put on your first condom on? Because I fucking remember that shit like it happened yesterday. It was the first time I didn't know how the fuck to put this thing on. Like I'm actually reading the instructions because I'm like, okay, rubber tip, reservoir. Okay, fuck, the instructions are backwards. Like, and it's only like 3 pictures, right? Like, they make it seem so fucking easy. Like it's just putting fucking whatever on, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing, bro? And obviously, you don't want to look like an idiot in front of your girlfriend or the girl that you're doing it with, and you're like, oh yeah, no, I got it. And you're like, fuck, wrong way. And then you flip it, and then you're trying to figure out which way it goes. And this is literally because you had no education on actually how to fucking put on a condom the right way.
Yeah.
That has happened to me. I mean, I don't know if it has happened. I know it hasn't happened to Deegan for a fact. I don't think he's literally flipping me off right now. He's literally flipping me off right now. Hey, Deegan, let me tell you something. You better learn how to fucking put on a condom, boy, because if you don't, you're gonna look like an idiot, literally. I didn't know. I honestly, I could say that I didn't know. I mean, I figured it out.
You gotta learn.
You gotta learn, because you can't fucking ask your mom or your dad, especially me, because obviously I was brought up with my mom. My dad wasn't around, so what am I gonna say to my mom? Hey, mom, how do I put on a condom? Like, you know how fucking awkward that is? That is the fucking weirdest shit.
But why? Why should it be awkward?
It shouldn't.
I'm playing devil's advocate for you.
And that's good. You know what? that's fine because actually I got very lucky with my mother, and we were actually very open with each other in that sense. I mean, we're not super like, sorry, open, but I mean, if I ever had a question like that, I know that she would have answered. I was just too embarrassed to ask, and
Yeah.
because it's taboo. No, it's considered sort of taboo.
Right. And I know this wasn't to the same extent, but ironically, when I first learned to shave, it was from my mom and not from my dad.
Like shave your pubes or shave your.
Shave facial hair in general,
Okay,
but
okay.
you know, you put two and two together. How to use a razor? Shaving.
It's like, oh, what I'm doing with my face, I can do with my balls.
But not with the same one.
Bro, I can't shave my balls to save my. I can't shave him, dude. I'm scared. I
What?
trim him, but I cannot fucking do
But-
that shit.
My point being, though,
scared.
that I was able to have that discussion with my mom, even though typically it's something
Like a
your-
father figure
your dad
would
would
step in.
teach you. And I don't think it was because he didn't want to. Maybe maybe he was gonna do it the very next week. I don't know. It could have just been timing, and my mom was like, "This guy looks shaggy as heck. Like he needs to shave his face. Like
Yeah.
like he is not gonna get any dates with
Yeah. I
no chance."
yeah. I don't know, man. I think shaving was one of those things that just came natural to me. Like I really didn't really need help.
You didn't struggle, do any of that
No.
kind of cut your face. I definitely did. Like first time, 2-3 cuts easy. I was like, dang. Like,
You got the fucking toilet paper
'Cause-
everywhere. Just
right. You have to find
patching it.
put the
holes.
right amount of pressure, because if you push too hard or you try to, always the chin has been the hardest for me. I don't know. Why.
Really?
I
That's
don't know,
like
because my
cake.
jawline.
maybe. Is it? Do you? So till the day you have to like fucking be weird with it, like.
I always go a little like cautiously around the jaw, because I'm like, oh, if I go normal speed, slice open. And I'm like, dang it.
What the fuck, man?
Then I gotta stop the blood 2 minutes, but it's a learning process.
I could literally say that I can count in the palm of my hand the times I've cut myself with a razor. Honestly, it hasn't
pretty
good. Yeah, it hasn't happened, and obviously I do get some stubble, so I've had to shave, but I trim more than I shave.
Yeah.
So
You grow more for facial hair than I do.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So, I mean, but that's funny though that the. So did you ever ask your dad, or was your mom just basically like, you
Well-
always go against the grain, never?
Well, she showed me, and then I think I did it.
Does she have a beard or something?
Not. I mean, she shaves her legs, so she.
Yeah. She's
So
like,
she showed me, and
son,
then
it's like this.
I do remember my dad making a comment like,
The fuck are you doing,
"Oh, he's
Margaret?
like,
No, I'm
oh, you shaved your face," kind of.
Did you use my razor?
don't use that one. I use that one for my dick.
The orange one. Oh.
Please
Oh, my-
don't.
Just keep it. Just keep it.
Please tell me you didn't use the orange one. God damn it.
Oh my god, you guys are too much.
Chandler's over here all embarrassed. It's
While
cute.
he's shaving, he's like, "Why, Dad? What's wrong?"
Dude, why do I have bumps all over my fucking face, Dad?
Moving on.
Okay.
What else we got, man?
Okay. Wow, we're already in 40 minutes. All right. We actually have a couple stories that we want to share with you guys that we went over.
Some news stories.
Some news stories. And just to take away a little bit the edge, Deegan's actually going to hand me his phone, and I'm going to read them to you. The first one's about these tourists that went to Peru. They climbed all the way up to Machu Picchu. For those of you guys that don't know what Machu Picchu is, it's basically like an Incan sacred ground,
It's a
relics.
temple, yeah.
It's a temple. So we're gonna call this segment Egg Boys Reddit, and most of these stories are on Reddit, the application that comes, with crazy stories and whatnot. So I'm gonna read this one for you guys. So, for some inexplicable reason, that's exactly what a group of tourists allegedly did over the weekend. 6 people in their 20s and early 30s, that explains a lot, were arrested on Sunday after Peruvian authorities caught them in a restricted area of Machu Picchu Temple of the Sun, a revered part of UNESCO, a World Heritage Site. Park rangers and police found feces, basically shit, inside the temple, which had also been damaged after a piece of stone had broken off a wall. So they didn't just shit on the temple; they fucked up the temple itself. Like they literally broke a piece of a wall, which cracked the floor and messed up this sacred ground. Um, Regional Police Chief Wilbur Leyva told Andina, the local news agency, this, and I quote, "The 6 tourists are being detained and investigated by the public ministry for the alleged crime against cultural heritage," Leyva said. So now they're being investigated basically because they think it's a sacred ground. It's a cultural masterpiece, basically. It's something that has to be taken care of. And there's an investigation open because if they did it on purpose, then it's basically a very big and disrespectful thing for them.
I looked a little more deeper into that, and it said that they could be charged for tourists and like tourist-like attacks, because that's very, it's very taken.
Like, did you say tourist-like attacks or terrorist attacks?
Terrorists? My bad.
Oh, okay, terrorist attack. No, yeah, it's something serious. So if you ever need to defecate or shit anywhere in a sacred ground, don't fucking do it. I mean, I understand that you're up top, in this fucking ground, sacred ground area, but fucking get out of there, dig a hole, and shit on the hole, and then go about your business. These guys literally picked the area where they used to do sacrifices and praise the gods or whatever, in the Temple of the Sun.
There's a thought respect there.
So, I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, would you consider that to be kind of I just need to shit and
No, it's inexcusable for me. I think, I mean, everyone has those moments where like, I need a bathroom now.
yeah, I've had those moments, but I think I'd rather shit myself than
you don't just go in a temple. You use your head a little bit better, and I mean, you find the closest bathroom you can find. If that means you have to hike down the mountain, I mean, you hike down the mountain.
Fuck, roll down the mountain.
Right? Are you past some gas while you can? And
yeah, man.
You stink up the temple, but not literally shit on the temple.
Yeah, he literally shat on the sacred temple of the sun, and that is just not unacceptable. Unacceptable. I think like I said before, I think I would have just rather poop myself than
I mean, it's one option.
I mean, these guys were obviously not thinking, so I don't know what to tell you. And Chen, you have another story for us.
I think Diego is pulling it up as we speak.
Do you have it, Deegan? Oh yeah, it's the story about this guy, right, that decided to go through McDonald's and literally I'll let you read it. It's pulling up there. Let me there you go. That's the story.
All right. Let's see.
I guess you could read the title.
Right.
Read the title and then
see what the title.
Go down to where it was.
All right. It says, "Genius tries to pay for his food with weed." You guessed it. It happened in Florida.
They always shit on Florida for some reason.
I guess, yeah. Let's see.
It's because weird shit does happen in Florida, honestly.
Briefly
I think you have to scroll down.
He's 23.
And then there you go. I think you could start there.
All right. So it says he tried to give a worker a baggie of marijuana in exchange for food, police said. The worker refused and the suspect drove off. Police said Gallagher went through the drive-thru a second time. That's when an officer made contact with him and noticed a heavy odor of marijuana coming from his car. According to the police, they found 11 grams of
Holy
marijuana
shit.
on Gallagher, which is quite a lot. He admitted to trying to exchange marijuana for food as a joke, police said. that's not gonna cut it in court.
Yeah, no, that is the stupidest thing. Literally,
Yeah.
this guy went through McDonald's drive-through.
And then it basically says he's facing charges of possession of marijuana and DUI.
Literally, this guy went through McDonald's, said, "Hey, bro, can I pay you in weed?" The the worker was obviously it's not a smoker because any pothead would take that deal and say, "Fuck it," you know.
Maybe if if it was Colorado,
Oh, if it was Colorado, that shit would have been done, and we wouldn't have
roll one up right here. We'll take it.
Exactly. Roll one up right now, bro. Let's fucking split it right down the middle. Obviously, that's not gonna happen in a place where weed is not legal like Florida, as crazy as it is over there. And he got to pay the pipe. He got to pay the pipe and fucking got arrested for it. I think the stupid thing that he did was go back through a second time, right?
He basically got away because they just called the police.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Try again.
Yeah, exactly. He fucking was high off. Obviously, he was high off his fucking balls because literally went back through a second time and said, "Actually, I really just want those chicken nuggets, so I'm gonna pay." But that was too late because the police was already there. If you're gonna do that, just fucking hit up another McDonald's. Do we have another story? Okay, let's
one more.
All right. So man finds shitty underwear with his Uber Eats meal. Yes, it happened in Florida. One more time, we have something happen in Florida.
Let's hear it.
All right. So this guy basically ordered Uber Eats in Florida. He was ordering Chinese, or was it Japanese food? Sorry, Japanese food. And the Uber delivered it. The Uber Eat delivered it. And then he opened the bag, and with it was another brown bag. He's like, "Oh, it must be fancy napkins," he says.
The extra egg rolls they threw in.
And he fucking found underwear with shit all over. Literally shit all over. So let me read you a little bit about this story. "I grabbed the food, and right when I got the food, she took off running." And he's talking about the Uber Eats girl, because it was a girl that delivered it. At this point, I'm like wondering, what the fuck is going on? Really? I think it was the restaurant, because he does say that he ordered it late. So I think the people might have been pissed, We're like, "You know what? You order around 10?
Right, like,
fuck you, man.
I'm gonna spit in your food."
Exactly.
That's shit on your
exactly.
food.
We're literally gonna shit on your food. And it says, "I grabbed the food, and right when I got the food, she took off running." And I was like, "That was kind of odd," Leo said. Brushing it off, he walked up to his hotel room and opened the plastic bag. In it, he saw his food in a brown paper bag and something else. I thought this when I was pulling it out. This sure is a fancy napkin. Leo said, "Oh, so he thought that the fucking underwear was a fancy napkin. That's what it was." But it wasn't a napkin at all. It was a pair of thigh-length underwear, stained with what it looks like human feces. Disgusted, he threw them back into the bag and contacted the Uber, the restaurant, and the police department. All of them apologized, but said they couldn't do anything about it. So these guys literally got away with putting shitty underwear on his food. You know the health hazards that has?
Tremendous, I would imagine.
Like, it might be a bad joke, but it literally is a fucking health hazard to have feces right next to your food. If this guy wouldn't have noticed and would have gone for the food first and not the fortune cookie, you know what I mean?
Right.
He would have fucking probably gone a fucking tapeworm or something, because the bacteria that is right next to it's something that, I mean, who the fuck is gonna eat that?
I don't know. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they were going through a crappy day, but that doesn't
You're so
it's hard,
fucking nice.
It's hard to justify that one.
He literally had a shitty time. He literally had a
Literally
shitty
did.
time.
Yeah.
We're in minute 51. I want to actually tell you guys about this last story that I had, and it's about this new method that they're coming up with actually to bury human bodies. Um, the company creates something called Capsula Mundi, and basically what it is when the disease before they hit rigor mortis, which is the stage of where you are basically stiff,
Okay.
a point of death. They basically turn you into basically put you into a fetal position, I would say. And what they do is they put you in this pod, and this pod has is attached to a tree. So this what this company is doing is basically trying to make, instead of doing wooden coffins, they're trying to do burial pods where they bury you, your family would bury you, you disintegrate, and those nutrients that you give off to the earth because of your deceased body would nutrify the tree that's on top of it. And instead of just being a past, coffin kind of thing, a memory, your family can actually go to the burial ground
That's very interesting.
and visit you, and sort of quote unquote reincarnate in
Right. Spend time with. You as
exactly.
you'd be a tree.
You'd be sort of a tree. You'd basically help.
It's kind of like your tombstone in a way.
It is, and I mean you can even add a tombstone on there, and that
It's just a physical like object that you could still leave.
exactly.
Yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
leave-
But at the same time, you're helping the environment. I like it.
I know. How cool is that, bro? How cool
I
is
like
that?
it.
I feel like that
It's
just needs
unique.
to go fucking viral. We need more of that shit. We need more trees in this world, and that is the perfect way to do it, I feel.
I mean, the only question is how cost effective is it compared to other traditional methods?
Mm-hmm.
To be quite honest, I mean, coffins are fucking expensive, bro. They're thousands of dollars, honestly.
Are they more expensive than like cremation? you know?
I'm not sure, but they
Mm.
actually we're talking about so they have this other method that they have where they cremate you, and it's like organically effective for the environment as well. So they have this other option where if you get
Okay.
cremated, they can use you as like soil or something like
Compost,
that.
pretty much.
Exactly, like soil for the tree. So this company is
Very
literally
interesting.
looking forward to innovating the way we do our burials. And how great is that, bro? How great is that? Just how forward and eco thinking it is to have burial grounds
Just
made out of trees.
naturally there. I mean, without.
Exactly, man. Exactly. I don't know. I dig the idea. Hopefully, it is still very beta in itself, but it's a process that's getting worked on little by little.
Yeah, for sure.
That brings us to the last segment of the podcast, and I like to call this last segment "What's Your Bop?" And what we're gonna do in this segment, Chandler, it's basically I wanna tell our audience a song that you've been jamming to all fucking week. You know those songs that just
Oh, yeah.
fucking that you're like, God dang, I have this thing on replay every week.
Right.
And I want to know what's your bop for these week, so that the listeners and the
All right.
viewers can see it and or hear it, and sort of expand a little music library.
Yeah. And I think this is a great segment. I think it's a very good trait to have, to expose yourself to new music.
I agree. Yes.
And, you don't have to love it, but it's good to give it a try. And you can perhaps find something you really like that you never would have listened to
Exactly.
before. So on that note, my bop of the week.
The bop. What's your bop?
Bop.
What's your
It's-
bop?
It's actually a remix of a very popular song. I tend to be fans of the kind of remixes. The original song is called "Shallow" by Lady Gaga and
Oh
Bradley
yeah,
Cooper.
that's the one from the movie, right? The
Yes, from
Shallow. Yeah, I can fucking.
what is that? What is
am I
that movie
kidding?
called? But they performed it at the Oscars. Very meaningful performance.
Oh, I think you won an Oscar actually. I
Yeah,
think you might have.
What
Yeah.
is it? Hold on, we have to search up the movie.
While you search it, how about I share mine?
Go
How
for
about Deegan shares his?
Yep.
What's yours, Deegan?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've listened to a lot, but there's this one song that I played a little more than the others. It's called "The Melly Mellow" by Doomsbresky.
The song is called "Melly Mellow" by Dombresky, right?
Yeah,
Dombresky. He actually sent it to me. He was like, "Bro, you gotta check this out."
And what genre is that, Dean?
I'm guessing it's EDM.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
electronic.
Electronic music. And I listened to it and I loved it. Actually, I jammed
right
to
on.
it all day.
I was just one of those grooving moments at work. I was just doing my job and everything, and then this one came up, and it's just like
You're like, what the fuck?
like, whoa, like-
what is this?
it's like a little hit of a little slap to the face, and you're like, whoa.
There you go.
There you go.
And it's okay. So I found the movie. It's from A Star Is Born. I should have known
Star is Born. Yes, I know it
And-
was something with stars, but I didn't know
that. And the
whole thing.
remix is called the J Strain remix. It's on-
Jay Strain. So I'm guessing Jay Strain is the producer and the DJ. I'm
right.
guessing.
Yeah, he changed the beat, and it's I don't know. I've just been jamming to it. It's very
What would you recommend
melodic.
it for? Is it good for like working out, listening to the? I don't know.
I would say relaxing. If you were definitely writing or studying, it's kind of good to just have in the background, and it doesn't distract you too much. But it's a great song already, and I really like how they did the beat. It's very melodic. I love the rhythm.
And to end, I actually went to the gym and worked out to this song, and literally had this song on repeat. I don't know why. I get in my zone, and I'm just like I play this fucking song on repeat all the time, and that was for this week, and that's "Adore You" by Harry Styles.
All right. I
It's a
see you.
pop song. It's very chill, very mellow. I love the lyrics on it. It's I don't know. Just check it out, guys. Honestly, keep yourself open to new music. But yeah, it's "Adore You" by Harry Styles. I don't know. It's my nut this week, I guess, for lack of a better word. I think it's a great song. It doesn't. I mean, I use it for working out. You might like harder shit. This is a little mellow song. I like hard stuff myself, but for some reason, this song was just very, very good for me. With that being said, guys, we're in minute 59. You guys had plenty of time with us. I hope you guys enjoyed episode number 10. I surely did. God damn it.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, I fucking loved it. I gotta pee, honestly. I fucking gotta pee so bad. But with that being said, guys, like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and you guys can find us on YouTube all the time. Channel your social media real quick.
You can find me on Instagram, Chan's Jams, and they both end in Z.
How about you, Deegan?
It's Ochoa Diego 45 in Snapchat and Instagram.
Right on.
And mine is DMayo92 or DMay92 on Snapchat, and then Derek Mayo 92 on Instagram. If you guys want to follow me through that, we're always willing to accept comments, likes, whatever it
Right.
is, guys.
Any feedback?
Any feedback, let us know. We love doing this for you guys. And for those of you guys watching, thank you so much for dealing with us for a whole hour. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I surely did. And with that being said, see you next time.